Learning to love ourselves all over again. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am alcoholic. Today, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I cannot be any more grateful. I want to take an opportunity real quick to thank our friends at the treatment facility. Every weekend, we go in and hang out with them on a Saturday night. This past weekend, my son actually came in, was able to share and answer questions for the clients, and they always pepper him with questions, and he does a great job. And it's such a remarkable story. He is what I like to say is the true victim of my alcoholism. I used to think I was the victim. My wife used to think she was the victim whenever she too was in her active addiction. But it was really our children. And my son, he really is truly the victim. And he watched us go through our madness. He also watched us turn ourselves around. And get clean and sober, and he watched us get out of his way so he could become the best version of himself. And it's just truly a remarkable and incredible story to see where he was at, where the road he was headed on, and how once my wife and I got out of his way, we see the road he's on now, and now he's not only, doing good himself, but he's also helping us carry the message to those who are sick and suffering. And it's just so incredibly uplifting and telling. So I just, once again, as a proud dad, I am a proud dad that he's helping us, but I also want to thank our friends in the facility for allowing us to come in and share. Inside of our crosstalk meetings, we have this question come up quite a bit, but it has been a few months. It's been a little bit. This question always seems to come up, or relative to this question anyway. And this card here I found in the crosstalk bucket. Why is a relationship so quick to hurt the heart? And matter of fact, a follow-up card is toxic relationships. I saw that one this morning too. I think it's something worth discussing, especially whenever you're in early sobriety. But I do want to illustrate this. I want to say this right off the bat. The single most important relationship you can build in early sobriety has got to be the relationship with your higher power. And the second most important relationship that you can build, and it has to be with yourself. I hear this all the time, and people will, I found the love of my life. I'm like, you found the love of your life in a rehab, 2 months sober in Huntington, West Virginia. Okay, I wish you well. I wish you luck. But it's just hard for me to believe. And usually what happens is early sobriety, we don't even know who we are. Hell, it took me 6 months to figure out, 6 months of my recovery to figure out who I was and to figure out and realize that the problem was I didn't know how to love myself. So how can I be early in my sobriety and say that, oh, I love this person whenever I don't even know how to love me. I'm still learning how to love me. Flip it around. How can that person say that they love me when hell, I don't even know who I am? It doesn't make sense to me. The road to recovery is nothing more than a journey of rediscovering who we are, learning how to love ourselves. Ultimately, at the end of the day, strip away all the layers of recovery. It all comes down to we were not loving ourselves. We did not love ourselves or place enough value on our lives. And that's what allowed us to damage our lives, to hurt us consistently and constantly throughout our active addiction careers. And so once we come into recovery, we start learning, hey, maybe I'd been doing this wrong. Maybe I wasn't loving myself. That first relationship that you need to worry about building in early recovery, first and foremost, has to be your relationship with a higher power. Whoever that may be, I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not here to tell you who it has to be. Finding that power that is greater than you and me, and starting to build that relationship with that power. And then the second most important relationship is learning to love yourself, building that relationship with who you are. I remember it was like about 4 months into my own sobriety, my wife went off to rehab, and she was gone for about 45 days. That 45-day period was just a very important period of my recovery because it allowed me to get to know who I am, the type of person I thought I wanted to become, the type of person I was, and how far I needed to go in order to get to my ideal positioning as an individual. It gave me the chances that I needed in order to get to learn how to love myself all over again. At the end of the day, the big book is very clear. We don't have a drinking problem. We don't have a drugging problem. We have a thinking problem. And it all starts, our thoughts are all centered around protecting ourselves from having to admit we don't love ourselves, that we wanted to hurt ourselves. And so we didn't want to admit that, so we would do and think things that would always try to protect us from having to admit that. Part of that recovery, the biggest part of my recovery, came through breaking down those walls, admitting the truth of who I had allowed myself to become, but then also being willing to get to know who I am as an individual. I was able to learn how to love myself, and I was able to learn how to love my higher power and trust my will and my life to their care. So with that being said, I'm out of time. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I could not be any more appreciative. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.